Hey guys, what's up? As you can see, our setup here today is a little bit different, or rather say vastly different. Please enjoy the view. Okay, very nice spot. So this is the perfect backdrop there. But actually past few days it's like raining a lot. Today is so damn hot. Why every time I go outside for outdoor shoot, always so hot one? Now why am I doing this? Why am I at the back of my trunk? I'll tell you guys in a short while. And because it's a bit of a lull season, as I mentioned in my previous video in regards to new launches, and I want to do something a little bit more fun, a little bit different, so hence I'm here. 2 years ago, I actually did one Q&A segment where I kind of compiled all the kind of questions that you guys are asking me in the past 6, 7, 8 months and answer in the form of a long form content like what we are doing here right now. But before we start, I just want to touch a little bit on all the launches that just concluded just 2-3 days ago, and that is Vela Bay and Tengah Gardens residences, and my thoughts on them because I've already seen the prices already, right? Because I always share with you guys, price is always the last matrix to determine whether the project is something you should hit or you shouldn't hit. Now I'll start off first with Vela Bay. Pardon me as if I sweat a little bit more because I was hoping that the aircon here can give me some fresh air or cold air, but it's still very hot. And sorry, here it's a little bit messy, but it also shows how much stuff I can put in my trunk, right? Anyway, back to it. Vela Bay did pretty well at 72%, or rather I think 70, close to 75% sell out on Saturday itself. Now the usual preferred stacks got sold out very quickly, like the stack number 7 and number 8 of the 2 bedrooms, and then you have the 3 bedroom stack 3 also selling out very fast. Now for context, Vela Bay do not have any loyalty booking, so on Friday they actually did their bulk purchase, multiple purchase, and some distinguished guests, or rather VVIP per se. But even then, there was most of the 2 bedrooms on stack 7 and 8 and even stack 3 were already like wiped out clean between like 11th floor all the way to like 25th floor, because anything above is a bit overpriced. So now if you're my client, if you're watching this video, unfortunately his number is 137 and we left the booking empty-handed. So we will focus only on stack 7, stack number 8 and stack number 12, the 3 compact, and really by time it reaches like queue number 50 or 60, most of the units all gone already lah. And I think once you hit the kind of level he's buying for investment, we thought it's a bit too lavish, so we just walk away now. So as I mentioned, whatever that we expected to move. The only thing that's a little bit unexpected for me, as far as I'm concerned, is the 4 bedroom compact take-up rate. So the 1173, I expected most of the units to be taken up because the price gap between the 3 premium versus the 4 compact is pretty narrow. So for example, the 3 bedroom 1033 square feet, stack number 3, I think the higher floors hit as high as $3.2 million. And then a mid-floor stack number 15 was selling at about 3.35. So that gap is very narrow because when you buy a sea-facing, once you hit a certain level, anything higher is just getting a few cm more of sea-facing. So it's really, I feel it's unnecessary to pay the kind of premium. So I feel that the 1173, it's a little bit underappreciated, and I'm quite surprised that most of them didn't spot that gap. So if you are someone looking at it, Vela Bay still, I think there's still some leftover units. If you haven't, you can check that out. Now for the 4 and 5 bedroom, as usual, as I commented in a neutral manner, I think that the 4 bedroom premium and the 5 bedroom layouts are rather weak. You could have done better with wider frontage. Actually, like the 5 bedroom kitchen, it's a little bit too long. Like they have a dry kitchen in the front, which is also pretty small. As I mentioned, the kitchen, it's a bit too long and it just doesn't feel that right to pay like $4.5–5 million for a unit of that kind of layout. So all in all, congrats to those who bought Vela Bay. I think on a longer run, it's a bit like Seaside Residences. At that point of time, Seaside Residences in 2017, I remember very clearly, the sea-facing units were the first one to move. The pricing was very high as compared to Costa del Sol and Mandarin Gardens. Right now, the same situation is happening, but for those of you who are planning to hold for the next 6, 7, 8, 10 years, I think it's okay price to pay. But the next one that I want to talk about is actually Tengah Gardens residences, and I think you will hear this for the first time because I have never heard of anyone pointing this out, okay? And that's actually my biggest objection about Tengah Gardens residences. Now, the fact is Tengah Gardens residences price, of course, is very, very attractive. 2,000, 2,200 PSF. I stated in my video, it's going to be an easy price. It's very cheap. It's beside MRT, it's beside a shopping mall, it's beside MNTs, yada yada yada. It's a new township, right? So, from an entry point of view, I think Tengah Gardens residences is amazing, but I have one big problem or small problem, whichever, and that's because actually on the booking day itself, right, when I was just standing around the queue asking around my colleagues, agents, taggers,
hey, your client buy for investment or own use?
And the answer is almost 10 out of 10 okay, say 9 out of 10, commented that they are buying for investment. So why is that a problem? Can you start to see the problem already? Now, if everyone buys for investment, then in time to come, 4 or 5 years later, they will be all renting it out. They will all be selling. Now, I still believe that the demand for Tengah Gardens residences in the future will still be relatively strong. I have no issues with that. My issues is the tremendous amount of supply. What it means is when TOP, you're going to have all the 4-bedroom owners, for example, just a 4-bedroom, okay? The 4-bedroom owners will all be trying to sell and rent since they are not going to stay there, right? Then today, if you're a buyer, which as I mentioned, there will be buyers looking for Tengah Gardens, but let's say if they look for a unit there, they start to shop around, they will say, you know what, let's go and see Tengah Gardens, and they will start to have a wide variety of buffet for them to select, and that's the biggest challenge, because if the buyer goes in, they see this unit, this owner's asking for a premium, they don't want to pay, they'll go to the next one. As an investor, you will tend to just have other different reasons to sell, and then you might just bite the bullet and just sell it. Hence, I think for the shorter to middle term, I think Tengah Gardens residences exit might be a problem because of this very observation. Almost close to 10 out of 10 of them are buying for investment. So the worrying thing is when they start to put on the market, then yes, there will be a challenge to create a higher pricing. So for example, all those OCR 4 bedrooms, 3 bedrooms, why do we always advocate people buying those like say Pinery or all those hot launches in the Tampines? It's because the 4 bedrooms are usually tightly held by people buying for own use. So as I mentioned, in time to come when TOP, a lot of them buy for own use, nobody sells, nobody rents, then it's easy to rent, it's easy to sell. But in this case of Tengah Gardens residences, I think that will be a problem, and because I speak from experience doing the resale property. But whether this will be true or not, time will tell. But like I mentioned, this is the biggest elephant in the room for Tengah Gardens residences. Okay, so with all these 2 launches out the way, let's go back to our main discussion for today. So in totality, I actually compiled 6 questions, 3 non-real estate ones and 3 property related ones, so that you guys can get to know me a little bit better from a personal point of view. And then we also just stop talking about all those new launch, resale, so and so forth, right? And of course, I also will cover that a little bit later. Otherwise, it's a bit too boring. So let's have some fun, okay?
Disclaimer, whatever I share does not constitute financial advice. It is solely based on my opinion on what is right or wrong. So please do your own due diligence. If you're liking the content so far, please hit the like and subscribe button, as your simple gesture will help a lot with the YouTube algorithm. If you are interested to find out more about property related matters, please find all the social media handles I am on, or you can just directly reach out to me on WhatsApp. Separately, I have also set up a Telegram group at the start of the year so that we can have a discussion that we as agents are not allowed to do so online, which is to talk shit. So if you are interested to get into a community that talks about everything under the sun about property, please scan the QR code, or for the boomers out there, I have pasted the link in my description. We're going to close the group invitation in probably a month or 2 times. So head over and I will see you there. Now back to the video.
Okay, so first question you guys asked, and this is a non-property related one, okay? And it's a good one. This is actually being asked by people who know me before January, right? And the question is, hey Clinton, curious, what made you switch from a 2-door car to a MPV? Some context about myself, I'm a very slow driver, right? I'm someone who buys car that makes me feel comfortable, and I like cars that is nice from an aesthetic point of view. So I'm not those kind of crazy people driving around, weaving around traffic, driving 100, 120. I can tell you, I drive no more than 100 right, on a day that I'm rushing. Okay, so some context, I drive a Porsche 911 992. Long story short, I drove that car for close to about 3 years. I absolutely enjoy the drive. The handling is amazing. Inside, aesthetically, from the outside, it's one of the best looking cars. It's a 2-door car, 4-seater. Sometimes my kids can always bunk behind, and then I can drive them to school. And yeah, it's definitely a hit turner for sure. But because I'm getting a little bit old and we are getting to the age where I am, then of course your focus is on comfort and on the kids also. Previously, I also drive a Vela, so I also got the experience of driving an MPV. That's why I want to relive that, because I need more space. Sometimes when you have viewings, got like 2 to 3 hours break, and then I just want to take a short nap, then very squeezy lah, right? And then, by the way, I'm 185 cm tall and I'm quite the big size guy. It was really a little bit uncomfortable when I want to just rest. So I told myself, you know what? I'm done with this. Let's sell this $2 car and go and look for a proper MPV. And then of course, I definitely will explore the old Velfire and Alphard. But Alphard and Velfire, of course, outside looks more modern now. But inside, I can tell you, it pales in comparison with all these EV cars. Right? And so yeah, so when I started searching again after eliminating Velfire and Alphard, I was looking around at the EVs as I mentioned. I round down between the likes of Zeekr, I think it's 009, and then you have Denza D9, which is everyone's driving, and then Xpeng X9. Of course, there's others, but these three was like my main considerations. Now, most of them, for especially the D9, it is actually very, very popular, but when Xpeng and Zeekr came in, Zeekr is more of like a safety car. If you go to the car showroom, they'll tell you that this is the safest car. I'm a very safe driver, so I don't need another safe car. I need comfort and I need technology, and that's why I want to walk you guys around the Xpeng X9 today. Okay, which is my car. Okay, disclaimer, this is by no means a sponsored ad by Xpeng. I'm doing it willingly on my own because I want to share with you guys. Now, Xpeng, if you are watching this, if you want to sponsor me another car, I think that's unrealistic. If you want to sponsor me a couple of service credits or whatever it is, you can reach out to me. Okay, but so far, I'm enjoying our car. Let me show you guys around the Xpeng X9. Again, this is not a sponsored ad. First thing, why I chose this car is because the backside, right? The backside here is a bit like more futuristic. You have this running LED light. There's something that the Denza and the Zeekr does not have because theirs are quite flat. And come, let me show you guys a bit. And over here, one of the most important considerations is the height of the car, right? So, as you may know, most of the Denza and Zeekrs, all those MPVs, even Alphard, Velfire, are all like 1.92, 1.93, which means that you cannot go to a lot of car parks, all those old car parks. Right? So I remember got one time I drove my Velfire through to the Novena Square one. Then I whacked the top, I tell you, wow, that one, until now I got PTSD. Okay? So this solves my PTSD. This is 1.78 I think. You can safely go through any car park. Okay, don't need to worry. Now that we're outside, let me show you why this function that Xpeng has is very important, okay? So, have you ever wondered, sometimes you drive such a big car, right, MPV, right, and your car park lot is also very tight, right? So what Xpeng has is this very function. And I don't think so that Denza and Zeekr has it. Maybe the new one has it, but when I bought it at the time, only Xpeng has it, is I can reverse my car front and back without being inside. Okay? I can go to the front, I can go to the back. Why is this important? I tell you guys, because sometimes when you drive this kind of MPV, as I mentioned, very big, car park very tight, then beside you got some a-hole driver, some people don't know how to drive, don't know how to park car, right? Then how to come out? And then you sometimes can park in front and then you can use the app to adjust forward. Then you can park comfortably. Right? Then sometimes if you park already, then someone else park very close to you, you can always adjust backwards and then you just go inside the car and you move off. This is something all the other brands like Zeekr and Denza don't have unless they change it. But yes, this to me, very important. But here is very sloppy, so I will not demonstrate that. But here got a self-park function. I think Tesla has it, but the rest do not have it. Okay, so coming in from the front, again, this is very futuristic. It's quite wide. It's actually wider than Velfire and the rest, like Denza and Zeekr, but I don't really care about that. So, you know, it gives me an opportunity to drive a car that's big, like a family car, but yet feel like it's quite sporty. And of course, the pickup is quite good. And then coming inside is where the magic happens, guys. Okay, coming inside. As I mentioned, I'm someone who is into comfort and aesthetic. So outside aesthetic kind of like checks all the box already. Let me show you what's comfort, okay? So this car is very high-tech among all the other comparisons. Why? Okay, wow, let me blast my aircon first. It's a bit too hot because you can see I'm sweating already. Okay, lower a little bit. Okay, let's do this. This for lazy people. Hi Xpeng, can you open my fridge? You see over here. Anyway, all of them have fridge lah. Sorry, it's a bit untidy. I have my kids' stuff mostly inside and I have my water bottle sometimes on a very hot day. You just put in a few bottles and always keep it cool. Then, as I mentioned, this for lazy people who don't want to press the button. Hi Xpeng, can you close the fridge? You see? Cool, right? One more thing is the TV, which I think Denza doesn't have it, Zeekr has it, but none of them is voice control. Hi Xpeng, can you turn on the rear TV? FYI, I don't encourage this. I'm not someone who is into screen time, but sometimes when the kids are annoying you, parents, you know you want a bit of peace, then you turn on the screen. Yeah, everything here is all automated, everything all can be controlled with the touch screen. Oh, don't forget, of course, you go on a road trip, then the TV will be amazing. Don't forget this one thing, sometimes when your kids sleep or fall asleep, right? Like last time I drove my Vela, when my kids fall asleep, I want to adjust the seat downwards, I have to stop the car and walk out, open the car door, put them back in, and then come back in, right? Very leceh lah. So over here at Xpeng, that solves it all. I think for all electric car, it's the same function. But yeah, I can adjust the seat upwards, downwards, the position, the leg rest, the lumbar support, and I also have massage function. Although the massage one is like just kids massaging you, it's not like proper massage. I don't expect that. I have different type of massage mode. Right, I even have zero gravity. Zero gravity means one button you can press all the way back for it to lean backward, and then you enjoy the TV and whatever it is. So this car is perfect for road trips, or you driving around your kids on a long sunny afternoon or whatever it is, right? And the drive is amazing. Actually, funny thing is when I drive my 911, I don't cross more than 100 because this kind of cars, right, sports car, right, once you drive 100, you feel sometimes a bit wobbly. But for this Xpeng, sometimes I drive 100, 110, I also don't know because it's so smooth. Right? I also want to highlight one thing, it's the turning radius for this when they U-turn. Usually most cars U-turn, especially MPV, you need about, I think, 2.5 lanes. This one is 1.5 lanes. So what else am I missing? I think that's essentially it. I also can open the sunshade, and to me, all these are important things that a lot of people tend to neglect, but this is something that Zeekr, Denza doesn't have a TV. So even you fit those kind of like TVs outside, right, you can't solve the problem of the rear mirror. You see, when you turn on the TV, this is normal rear mirror. When the TV turns on, it switches to digital. This is cool, right? That's why the X9 for me, it is the best option. So there you have it. This is why I chose the Xpeng X9. It's a very futuristic looking car, very comfortable. Technology is great. I enjoy the drive so far, especially switching from a two-door car, sports car like a 911 to a EV car. I absolutely enjoy the car or the ride until now. So I've been driving for like 4-5 months already. Okay, as you can see, I'm sweating a little bit already. Second question, after seeing so many houses for so many years, what's considered your dream house? So actually my dream house, I can tell you, is two ideal houses. Number one is something that's a bit realistic, something I will buy is actually East Coast, because the East Coast area is where I apply my trade for the longest time. And it's specifically Alto. Now, why Alto is because Alto is right smack at the end of May Road. It's of course freehold. The 4 bedrooms there are very sizable. For those who are checking it out, Alto is usually probably the top 2 units to look for, usually in the May Road itself. Very sizable, 2,000 square feet, MRT at a doorstep, you're close to everything. You drive to the city central, you drive to Changi Airport, you drive to the eateries, you have an underpass that leads towards the ECP. That's my dream house. But unfortunately, that's not my wife's dream house. So there's this saying that happy wife, happy life. That's why I'm not there, and I'm Bukit Timah. And I can tell you, for those of you guys who know me, each time I say, I hate Bukit Timah, right? Because it's all of this green. I'm someone who likes water. So yeah, Alto is my dream house, 4 bedroom there. The other dream house is Sentosa, but that one's a bit more like an unrealistic dream. So Sentosa gives me this very holiday vibe. It's like you feel like you are away from Singapore. And because our job sometimes, a lot of people like to say, agent job is like very easy. I always like to say, you easy, you come try. You see you can perform well. Right. So actually our job is not physically very tiring, guys. It's mentally very exhausting. For agents watching this video, you will understand what I'm trying to say, okay? So sometimes in order to unwind or de-stress, I always like to take a short drive because I feel like I'm leaving Singapore to Sentosa, breathing the fresh air, go Quayside out, go W Hotel. So every time I go staycation, the only one hotel that I always look forward to is W Hotel. And because it's really close to the water, as I mentioned, I'm a fan of the water, and that's why Sentosa always have something in my heart. But will I ever buy there? The answer is no, unless I have a lot of money to laundry, or I'm a laundry company, I have a lot of money, then I'll go there. Otherwise, I'll just maybe rent. And this is the scenario where I have no kids, but unfortunately I have kids, so that's out of the question. Okay, next question. Hey, Clinton, are you a stocks person or a real estate guy? Truth be told, of course, I breathe real estate, but if I have the choice of choosing between stocks or real estate, if I spend my time and effort to understand the both of them, then actually I favor equities more, right? I believe in equities more. But then again, because unfortunately I'm someone who is very, very conservative, I only believe in whatever I study or research about. That's why I'm a little bit more afraid to put all my money into stocks lah. Of course, people always say that real estate you can leverage, that's the way to go lah. If you want to put in full cash for a purchase like real estate or stock, I would say just go equities. You buy a Meta or you buy a Nvidia, you buy anything, it's likely gonna make more money than real estate, but sometimes you also want to diversify your portfolio a little bit. But yeah, if I have a choice, as I mentioned, if I'm willing to analyze both markets and I spend the amount of effort I do for real estate equally as much as a stock, then I will actually choose equities anytime. Right now, about 80% or rather 70% real estate, 30% equities. Next question is, hey Clinton, you have sold your place already. What have you bought? Yes, I have just actually managed to option out for a house after searching for close to about 3 to 4 months. As you guys may have seen in my video about me selling my landed house, I was looking between landed properties or potentially Thomson View, and I already said that I'm leaning towards landed because Thomson View right now it's still not launching. It's not Thomson View, it's Thomson Reserve. Thomson Reserve is going to launch at the end of the year, but ultimately we managed to scoop up a landed property, semi-D. Now I'll share with you guys in probably the next 1-2 months once I collect the keys. I'll show you around the house and you guys to see what I buy. But for now, yes, I have managed to purchase something. I find it a bit conflicting because I bought it like only a month ago, and then there is this like URA data that shows that landed has slowed down like what, 1.8 or 2%. But when I go and look for a house, I think I go for every viewing, it's like I go see every half decent house, all like got 3, 4, 5 beats one. I remember one incident, I go and see this Jalan Bincang in District 20. The house is quite close to the main road itself. It's very convenient actually. You just cross the road and then you take overhead bridge, you are there to Junction 8 already. It's also like a school zone. The asking was 6.5. I remember I went in like, I lost a bit, so I'm very upfront about it. I went in about 6.38. I like the unit, but I didn't quite like it because as I mentioned, I'm not going to stay. For me, it was pure investment. I'm not going to compete with someone buying for own use. So I offered 6.38. And then there was total close to I think 12 or 13 bids. And the last I heard, it closed at I think 6.7 to 6.8 when asking 6.5. That's how crazy it is. Now, why is that so? Actually, most of the time, I realized for landed purchases, most of the buyers require a little bit more time. I see most of them is like maybe 3, 4, 5 months option period whereby they can sell the house also, right? Actually, landed data is a little bit lagging. I'm not saying all is lagging, but most of them are lagging. So maybe something that concluded last year around December or November, now then you see the caveat 60-70% of the time. So I noticed this one thing, the landed market really picked up tremendously at the end of last year. Since the start till now, I can tell you, as I mentioned, all the nice houses are being snapped up and the bids are just crazy. So don't go and look at all these landed bids. Understand from on the ground. The landed market right now is very, very hot, but of course, which property will always be good property will always be good property, and the good ones moves very, very fast. And for those of you who are looking in the range of, let's say, $4, $5, $6 million, you know my answer is always very simple. Just go for a landed property, unless you cannot stand landed and you want to buy a condo for own use. Okay, so yes, I bought my house. Sorry for being a bit too lost. And the next question on hindsight, what's your greatest regret when it comes to property related purchase? There's actually 3. Number 1 I can recall is in 2018, I let go Jadescape. I was queue number 18, I remember. 18 out of like close to 1,000 checks. 18 guys. And then as an agent, I let it go. But of course, I think things happen for a reason. I spotted that the Sterling Residences pricing, which is in the RCR, it's much more attractive. But yeah, Jadescape remains the one that I kind of regret a little bit, but at least not so bad. Also in 2019 also, I had a chance to buy a landed property along District 20. I remember the terrace house was like 3-story. The house just needs probably 200-300k of renovation. It was like 2.6 plus. $2.6 million for 2,000 land size. Right now it's worth like $4.5 to $5 million. But at that point of time, I share with you, and I'm pretty sure most of you guys looking for landed at a very young age is you feel that sometimes the money installment or the cost of living in a landed is very, very high. So back then, I have no concept of renting it out. To me, I buy landed, I want to stay in it, and the thought of paying $8,000-9,000 at the age of say 30 years old scares me. I guess that time the timing wasn't right, but yeah, things happen for a reason. Okay, but I can tell you what's my biggest regret. My biggest regret ever in my life happened only 1-2 months ago. Okay, I'll tell you all the story. So I was searching for my landed. So I saw one property, one semi-detached in the Eastwood area. It's like 3,700 square feet. Wow, the owner done up the house very nicely. If the owner is watching this video, you have really done a good job. Everything's all done nicely. I don't need to spend, I probably just need to spend some money to repaint the house. But I actually fought myself for why I didn't get this unit. Now, just some context, the owner was looking at $6.3 million, and then I go and see the house. Being an agent, as I mentioned, we call it occupational hazard. 职业病 I asked the agent, hey bro, how much the asking or last offer? He said 5.9. Being an agent, I was like, okay, 5.928. So he brought the offer forward to the owner. Owner said, you know what, it's a bit too low. I counter you 6.1. That was on a Saturday. I viewed on a Saturday. I offered Saturday itself. Sunday, they came back to me and say, you know what, it's too low. We can accept 6.1 for you. Then on Sunday, I thought about it. And then Monday, I was discussing with my wife. He said, hey, you know what, let's try lah, right? Let's go take a second look at it. So on Monday night, 2 days after that, I actually tell the agent, bro, can you arrange a viewing for me tomorrow? Then we'll reconsider our options. Bang, gang. Then he replied me, bro, sold already. So I can tell you at that night itself, about 10 p.m. when I received that message, the whole night I spent 3-4 hours looking for other houses. I feel like, what? Man, it's like, you know, I have never felt this much amount of regret before. You know, like that mindset, or rather that state of mind when you miss such a unit that is that nice. And like I say, 3,700 square feet, $6.1 million. Like, we were quite sad, at least for the following 1 week or 2 weeks or so. But I can tell the problem is me, not the owner, not the agent. Because I'm an agent, so I like to act smart, right? I want to try to negotiate here and there, negotiate here and there. Then someone who wanted to buy for use went in, and eventually it got transacted at 6.1. So actually we concluded that it was almost never meant to be, because we would have gone in and negotiate like, let's say 5.98 lah, $6 million or 6.03. Just refuse to give the owner one. We may eventually give the owner a 6.1, but it will take a while, and then we don't have time, and time is my biggest enemy. I would say I just highlighted to you guys the 3 regrets, right? But the only true one regret is missing this unit at Eastwood, and it's a big shame because it's fairly close to the MRT, it's close to the eateries, it's close to everything. And up until now, would I have swapped the unit I just bought recently for that unit? 100%. Next question, on hindsight, understanding all the price points and whatnot ever, what is your launch of first half 2026? Now, very good question. The answer is Pinery. Let's look at what we have. Okay, we have Nara Residences. What do we have? We have Resale, EC, Bopake. That one is like confirm make money one. We have Pinery, we have Tengah Gardens, we have Vela Bay. I think that's about it lah. So if I look at it, it was a good fight between Pinery and Tengah Gardens. But to me, it's only Pinery if you get the range of 2,400 to 2,500 per square foot. If you pay 2,600, 2,700 per square foot, yes, you hold for long, all these 100 per square foot wouldn't make much of a difference. But based on the here and now, I think anything below 2,500 would be my launch of the year lah. So if you bought something below 2,500, whatever floor it is, congratulations, because with the more compact size and the per square foot at 2,425, you should be one of the cheapest new launch as compared to Parktown lah. When we start to travel to the 2,600, 2,700 range, then actually, as I mentioned in one of my videos, Parktown represents or opens up an opportunity for you guys. Now, and then Tengah Gardens was, as I mentioned, price is fantastic. Everything about it is good. There's a story to tell, but I can tell you already the problem is the short to medium term, the exit will be a bit of a challenge because everyone buys for investment, and then when everyone starts to sell, then it's a buffet for the buyers. When it's a buffet for the buyers, even whatever story you can tell, the reality is they go there, they have so many units to choose. How will your pricing go up? I mean, your price will go up. How will it go up like way more when so many people are selling, right? So it's a little bit like the more amplified version of Normanton Park. Like Normanton Park, I think it's like maybe the ratio is like 60% people buy for own use, 40% buy for investment, and you already see how many listings for sale already, right? Normanton Park actually is very nice. Location is also quite good. Now facilities also, I find it good enough for me, but the biggest problem there is the supply law, and that's my problem with Tengah Gardens Residences, which brings me to my conclusion that I think Pinery got it good lah. And Vela Bay, okay lah, normal lah. Vela Bay is more like people buying for own use lah. So Pinery, congratulations for those under 2,500. And last question, I get this almost every time I meet one of you guys who reaches out to me, should I go for a resale or a new launch? Once you speak to me already, once we have some form of engagement, you will know my answer. It can be resale or it can be new launch. It really depends on what you really want. Now, I always like to categorize in a certain manner based on price. For example, today, if you have a budget of under $2 million and you want to buy something purely for investment, I would say you should really consider 4-bedroom OCL. There are still areas where it has tremendous potential. You don't even need $2 million, 1.8, 1.9, you can find something already, right? And then I also mentioned that the lowest 4-bedroom right now is in the Woodlands area at 1.5, 1.6, but probably that's not the one we'll be looking at. But there are certain areas where there's high demand and you can get a 4 bedroom at 1.8, 1.9. So it really depends on the pricing. And I believe that for someone who, let's say, has a budget of 2.5, that's actually the hardest puzzle to solve, or the hardest riddle to crack. Because 2.5, you go and buy an OCR 4 bedroom at 1.8, 1.9, you feel a bit like imbalanced because I want to spend 2.5, then 1.8 is about underutilizing my money. And then 2.5 also, you cannot really get, or rather you can only get RCR 3 bedrooms. Then the RCR 3 bedroom is damn expensive. But like I said, to me, it's really dependable on where the value is, whether is it resale or new launch. Now, I also have commented many times because the market has shifted. A lot of agents will say that new launch is the way to go, yeah, blah, 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 no wrong. Yeah, some new launch that is the way to go. But you have to understand that resale right now has a clear advantage. You can collect rental, the yields are good. So by default, assuming both got no capital appreciation, your resale would have net you somewhere around, I think about 5-6% in about 4-5 years. Resale or new launch, landed, whatever it is, it all depends on what you need in life. There you have it, 6 of the common questions that you guys have been asking me for the past 6, 7, 8 months. As I mentioned, today is us doing something a little bit different. Anyway, because the new launch right now is somewhat limited, upcoming we have like Hudson Place, come to that in a short while. Yeah, because life is beyond just new launch, beyond just resale. It's also landed. Okay, so as I mentioned, I won't be covering Hudson. I will be talking about Lucerne Grand for sure. I will be talking about Dangnan House. I won't be talking about Tengah Gardens for sure. I will be talking about Thomson Reserve. But yeah, in the next few videos, I also will expand out towards resale options that you guys are always a fan of. Like what range should we go for, what type of resale. And also I will be talking quite some bit on landed properties, terrace house, semi-D. And I'll also share with you guys my thought process when I look for my house itself, especially from an agent point of view. But remember, don't make the same mistake as me. Don't try to be too gay kiang. If you see a nice landed, just pay a little bit more. If you're buying for your own use, just pay a little bit more, okay? So if you guys are looking forward to this sort of content, especially resale or landed that I'm going to be covering next, please like, share, and of course subscribe. Please turn on the subscription, turn on the notification bar. And one last thing I want to talk about is for those of you guys who are right there right now on the sidelines looking at properties. Maybe you're not sure whether you should go for it or you should just like sit and wait because you have all the Middle East war still happening, right? So energy costs also very high. I only have one tip for you guys, and in my previous video I already shared with you guys, the land cost is rising. The Middle East war, I think likely Singapore will benefit from it. There might be potential for en bloc fever coming up. Whatever it is, whether I'm right or wrong does not matter. Of course, land cost, that one, it's a fact. Just stay invested, alright? So if you like something, if the price is right, if it's at the right price, just go for it. Don't try to time the market because nobody can tell you for sure whether it's the best time to buy now or 6 or 12 months later. Because people 1 year ago, when they look at Ori, they look at likes of, let's say, Zion Grand or whatever it is, they thought they pay a very expensive price, but now River Modern, all this launch already, they think they got a good deal, which I think, it's not too bad. Other than that, all I have to say is, of course, buy safe. Always make sure that you have a safety net just in case this happens, right? Please buy safe, buy the right property at the right price. Otherwise, until our next video, hopefully not here because this time around I thought it would be a bit more cooling, but it's really very hot. And until our next video, I will see you guys. Bye.